Hey now, ladies and gentlemen, Hour number 4 of the Line Talk 99.5 on this Wednesday. Yes, sirree. Glad to have you. Glad to have you here. If you're just joining us, I am doubling down on JBJ. That's not John Bird Jones. That's Jawbone Jam.
Yeah.
Which John Bird will be at if you want to see him. 10-year anniversary. Make sure you get your tickets. If you haven't yet, please do so and do so quickly. Quickly before it's too late. Go to Ticketmaster.com or IronCityBham.com. Pick up those tickets. Come see me, Leland, JB, and Dixon, and Val, and Steve West, and AJ, and everybody. And it's going to be a good time, man. We want to see y'all there. It's only 2 weeks away, and that's why I'm hammering y'all about that. 2 weeks away, and you ain't going to get in if you ain't got tickets. So Ticketmaster.com, search Talk 99.5. You'll find it. Thank you to Danny Knowles of the Knowles Group. Thank you to Blakely's Bouquet. Thank you to Aqua Systems. And thank you to you for making this a very special place to work and be a part of. And being part of the family, man. That's what y'all are. Y'all are all part of the family. Big part of the fam. Yeah. I don't know, just to kind of piggyback off of what we were talking about there with abortion and Planned Parenthood. I mean, that's animalistic behavior almost, you know? I mean, Brandon Gill mentioned barbaric and just sickening animalistic behavior. I mean, it's just, you gotta be an animal to think that way. I don't know how else to put it. It's just insane to me. Oh, speaking of animals, I got a couple of stories, and I was actually going to just stick them in the Animals Are Friends file. But I said to myself, instead of that, I'm just going to put it in the mix, and whenever I can get to it, I'll get to it. But I found this fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Before that, though, Earnest Financial, retirewithernest.com. Protecting your retirement is what this is about. Retirewithernest.com. Call him up. Call my buddy David Ernest. He is in the business of taking care of the Hate Now Nation. That's you, buddy. That's you. I'm talking to you. You and your wife, you and your husband. If y'all got a retirement, y'all need it protected. Reach out to David Ernest today or tomorrow. Remember, this doesn't cost you anything, but if you're 55 or older and you got over $50K in your retirement, whatever kind of retirement that may be, you can get it locked in, especially if this stuff with Social Security and everything else passes. I mean, this is the perfect time to make a move on this. Reach out to him. Let him know I sent you. 833-596-7233 is the number. That's 833-596-7233 online, retirewithernest.com. But animals, you'll like this, John Bird.
Mm-hmm.
Animals are thriving on contaminated land in Chernobyl's radioactive exclusion zone.
What?
That's right.
That's always fascinating. I watched every documentary on that.
Nature is more resilient than anybody could imagine.
Yeah, but are they mutated? And
Not really. It says the world was shaken by the core 40 years ago on April 26, 1986, when an explosion in reactor number 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear plant that destroyed the reactor core and ignited a graphite fire. The worst nuclear disaster in history unfolded, as we all know. And by the way, nuclear energy is so incredibly safe. This was just kind of a one-off, and people always go back to point at that to say, oh, no nuclear plants. But that was literally a freak accident. A massive plume of radioactive material was released into the atmosphere, contaminating large areas of Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia, with fallout spreading across much of Europe. But today, 4 decades later, on contaminated land that is still too dangerous for human life, a variety of animals have returned to the exclusion zone. It says volunteers in the Chernobyl exclusion zone have discovered packs of dogs with bright blue fur.
Okay, come on now. That's not normal.
They're blue dogs.
Are you serious?
Yes, dude. You want to see it? I got a
Of
video
course,
of it.
yes, I do. Blue?
Blue dogs. The old blue dog.
Oh my gosh!
Look at this right here. Let me get you a. Let me bring this up. Literal blue dogs. For
And it's
those
like
of you on
one
YouTube.
hit-
Look at
Oh
that.
my gosh!
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they're. What breed are they? I guess
They
they're
kind of
different.
look like a wolf or something.
Yeah. Different shades of blue. One of them's wearing glasses. What the heck is going on?
They're turning into nerds. It says,
Man.
according to researchers, the animals appear healthy and active despite their unusual coloration. Associated Press reported across the Chernobyl exclusion zone, it says, Rowalski's horses, stocky, sand-colored, and almost toy-like in appearance, graze in a radioactive landscape larger than Luxembourg. 4 decades on, Chernobyl, which is transliterated as Chernobyl in Ukraine, remains too dangerous for humans, but the wildlife has moved back in. Wolves now prowl the vast no man's land spanning Ukraine and Belarus, and brown bears have returned after more than a century. Populations of lynx, moose, red deer, and even free-roaming packs of dogs have rebounded. It says, well, that's pretty much the extent of it. But that's pretty crazy. Here's another video of the different wildlife that is spanning the land in Chernobyl. Check that out.
They do look kind of toy-like. Okay, this is creepy. I hope there's a documentary somewhere. Something's. Look at the way they're turning. And no. They've got some kind of cosmic ray brain thing going.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Well, there's that. And then the other thing I was going to bring up is the fact that they've discovered that cocaine salmon swim twice as far as non-drugged fish, according to a new study. I think this is somewhere in the UK or somewhere in Europe where they're finding large amounts of cocaine in the water. And they're studying the salmon that are in the cocaine-contaminated water. It swims twice as fast.
Oh, yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. Anyway, Trump speaking at the White House, he's actually got the Artemis II crew in the White House, recognizing them. They're in the Oval Office. Let's dip into that just for a moment.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, it's a great honor to meet all of you. Congratulations and welcome to the White House. I have had the privilege of interviewing Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Is that what you would like to do? And Mr. President, do you think that will happen during your second term?
Well, we have a shot at it. I mean, we don't like to say definitely because then you say, oh, we failed. Because I think we could say we're ahead of schedule. So we have a good shot. We've authorized it. And I think with this team and with Jared's done such an amazing job at NASA, I think we have a good shot, right? We'll see.
Yes, Mr. President, we have an achievable plan now back to the moon. And we're back in the business of launching moon rockets with frequency. So we just sent Artemis 2 around the moon. We're going to launch Artemis 3 in 2027. We'll protect for 2 opportunities in 2028 to return astronauts to the surface of the moon.
I like space. I started Space Force, as you very well know. It's been very, very important. Then they tried to kill it. And actually, the military would not let the Biden administration kill it. They wanted to kill it. And it's going to turn out to be one of our most important things. I think it'll turn out to be one of the most important things they did. But we got involved with NASA bringing it back. And I was saying when I first looked at some of your facilities, they had grass growing on the runways right in between the cracks of the asphalt. And but not anymore. It's really strong. And what they do, one of the things they do that's so important is for our military offense and defense. And a lot really worth it because what's happened militarily, you see what we're doing militarily, a lot of that comes from space. So it's been pretty great. Good question. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two questions for you. First, on the topic of space, do you have an update on the UFO files and when we're going to be seeing those?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. For some reason, and I guess it's just a reason that's been in the minds of people for a long time, that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material, and we're going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have, and I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. I've interviewed people, my first term primarily, but I interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe, so you're going to be reading about it. Yes.
Sir, you spoke to Vladimir Putin not too long ago. Did you talk to him about
today?
Did you talk to him about progress in the space area, and what else did you talk
I didn't talk about space. No, I talked about Ukraine, and I talked a little bit about Iran. I talked about a few different subjects, mostly about Ukraine, and we had a very good conversation. I think we're going to come up with a solution relatively quickly, I hope.
What does he want?
I think he'd like to see a solution, I can tell you, and that's good.
What involvement does he want to have in the Iran situation?
He told me he'd like to be involved with the enrichment if he can help us get it. I said I'd much rather have you be involved with ending the war with Ukraine. To me, that would be more important because we're going to have that. Look, we're not going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and we've knocked out their Navy, we've knocked out their Air Force, we've knocked out their anti-aircraft, everything, apparatus, everything they have, their radar, they have very little left. And they have some missiles, a small percentage. They have a small percentage of missile-making facilities. We knocked out about 80% of them. The rest could come very quickly if we don't make a deal. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They know it. And just about everybody else does. And so we talked about that a little bit. He doesn't want to see them have a nuclear weapon either. But I had a long talk with President Putin. I suggested a little bit of a ceasefire, and I think he might do that. He might announce something having to do with that. Did he announce it yet?
No, but I was wondering, I was just going to ask you.
No, I asked him about, even if it's a little ceasefire, there's so many people being killed, it's so ridiculous.
Mr.
Yeah.
President,
Mr. President, in light of today's Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Rights Act, do you want Republican states in the South to look at redrawing congressional districts before
I
the
don't think you have to
midterms?
tell me, when did the ruling come out? I've been with the astronauts. I've been with contractors because we're trying to get the ballroom built ahead of schedule. It's right on schedule. It's ahead of schedule now. I want to keep it that way.
Came out today.
And I was also with commissioning some people, but one of, David Warrington's son. I don't know, you know David. Everybody knows David. He's got this incredible son. So he was just sworn in. So we had other things. Tell me about what happened.
Well, some think that the ruling could create more Republican-held congressional seats in the South.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's the kind of ruling I like.
Would you want them to
When did that happen?
Well, the Supreme Court ruled on it this morning.
Really? Is that right? You tell me about the ruling.
well, I have a question,
This is
Mr.
CNN
President.
fake news.
On your call with President Putin today, do you think the war in Iran ends first or the war in Ukraine?
Well, we talked more about the war in Ukraine, but he would like to be of help. I said, before you help me, I want to end your war. So we had a good talk. I've known him a long time. I think he was ready to make a deal a while ago. I think some people made it difficult for him to make a deal, but we talked more about Ukraine.
But which war do you think ends first?
That's an interesting question. Coming from you, that's very interesting. Which war would end first? I don't know. Maybe they're on a similar timetable. I think Ukraine, militarily, they're defeated, okay? You wouldn't know that by reading the fake news, but militarily, look, their Navy. So they had 159 ships. Every ship is right now underwater. Typically, that's pretty good. What do you think, Jared? I mean, it's going to be hard for them to make a naval comeback. Okay, now they have an Air Force. Every one of their planes has been shot down or has been decimated. They have missiles, about 82% are gone, and they have drones, and most of them are gone. Most of the factories are mostly gone, and we have tremendous anti-drone equipment now between lasers and that new, very special machine gun that knocks them out of the air like flies. And we use bullets instead of $1 million, missiles to knock out a $30,000 drone. So I would say Jared would tell me that with everything you just heard, typically we're in pretty good shape. And in addition, their economy is crashing. Their, as you know, their money, they call it their money, they don't have a name for it. Their money is valueless. They've got inflation that nobody's ever seen before. Other than that, I think they're doing quite well. If you read the New York Times, you'd say they're doing wonderfully because it's fake news. Or if you watch CNN, I mean, you cover it all the time. You think they're doing well. Do you think they're doing well where they have no Navy, no Air Force, no anti-aircraft apparatus, other than what they may have put there? They may have brought in some light stuff during the ceasefire, and we know exactly where it is, so it'll be knocked out within the first 15 minutes.
You're about to Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to go back to the Supreme Court ruling on their Voting Rights Act. I know you said you haven't seen it.
When did it come out? Just now?
No, it came out this morning, but basically very much narrows the Voting Rights Act.
Was it considered a win for
A
who?
win for Republicans.
I love it.
But my question...
This is a very good, we can end this news conference right now. I want to read it.
My question
Wow.
for you, Mr. President, is that some Republican governors have not responded in terms of what they're going to do. I guess early voting, for example, in Louisiana.
Republican governors what?
Republican governors.
What about it?
Early voting begins Saturday there, for instance. Should they redraw the map in the next couple of
I would. I mean, it depends. I mean, some states don't need to redraw, and some do. I mean, I know what the concept of the ruling, I just haven't seen the result. Yeah, I would say generally I would think that they would want to do it. Some are greatly helped, and some, it didn't make much difference. Yeah, I would say they would do that. They have time to do it. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you, there's a lot of drama on the House floor today. Several bills were stalled, and a rule took 2 hours to pass today, and there's still some tension over the Farm Bill. Do you think that you need to get more involved legislatively on Capitol Hill?
Well, we want the Farm Bill. The Democrats don't. We want security, okay? We need security. We want security. The Democrats don't think we need security. They actually do, but they suffer greatly from Trump derangement syndrome, like at levels that nobody's ever seen. They're sick people. There's something wrong with them. They don't want to pay anybody for security. They don't like ICE. They don't like Border Patrol people. They don't like the people that keep us safe. When they ran this, they let 25 million people into our country, and many of those people were from prisons. They were from mental institutions, drug dealers, murderers. 11,888 murders, half of whom committed more than one murder. They think that was fine. I happen to like law enforcement. They essentially want to defund law enforcement, and I don't think the public's going to let them get away with it. We got it all approved in the great big beautiful bill, and they want to renegotiate. We don't like that. Yeah.
Mr. President, the King's speech that he made to Congress, he spoke strongly, forcefully about the necessity for a strong NATO alliance. He also spoke about the necessity to continue to support Ukraine. Did his speech in any way change your thinking on either of those issues?
Well, you have to understand my thinking is, I think, exactly correct, but I was very disappointed with the fact that when we called on them to give us a little hand, we didn't need it. I actually did it just to see whether or not they'd be there. When we called on NATO to give us a hand with Ukraine, and in particular the most recent, we asked them to do certain things on Ukraine, and we also wanted them to do things with Iran. And on Ukraine, they're very much involved, but they didn't do things the way we would like to see it. It's been going on for a long time. And on Iran, they weren't there. As you know it better than anybody. They weren't there. The King is fantastic. We spent a lot of time together. We had a lot of talk. We talked about this also. And he loves his country, and he's a great king, and he's a great friend of mine. And I think if he were doing that, if that were up to him, he would have probably helped us with Iran. He would have followed the suggestions we made with respect to Ukraine, because, we have some disagreements on Ukraine, and not having to do with NATO so much as European countries. But No, he's coming back tomorrow. We had an incredible evening last night, and he's leaving tomorrow. He's going to come back and see us before he leaves, and but no, I think he's a phenomenal representative for his country. I think the people in the United Kingdom should be proud. I loved his speech yesterday. I watched it. I loved the speech last night. I don't know about my speech. I thought my speech was okay too, but I thought he was. I think he's an unbelievable king, and by the way, an unbelievable queen. They are a great couple.
This morning, you were talking about how busy you were this morning. James Comey was in court. He self-surrendered. He's now been charged a second time. This time over a social media post with seashells that said 8647. Do you really think that he was endangering your life or threatening your life with that?
Well, if anybody knows anything about crime, they know 86. You know what 86? It's a mob term for kill him. You ever see the movies? 86 him. The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 him. That means kill him. It's. I think of it as a mob term. I don't know. People think of it as something having to do with disappearing, but the mob uses that term to say when they want to kill somebody, they say 86, the son of a gun. I'm trying to keep the language nice and clear. They don't use that term, son of a gun. They use another term. But that's a mob term for kill him. Yeah.
But do you really think your life was in danger?
Probably. I don't know. Based on what I'm seeing out there, yeah. The people like Comey have created tremendous danger, I think, for politicians and others. Comey is a dirty cop. He's a very dirty cop. He cheated on the elections. He tried to help Hillary Clinton, as you know. He dismissed a lot of things that he should have proceeded with. I wasn't involved, but he should have proceeded with. No, he's a dirty cop. He's a crooked man, yeah.
Mr. President, you just described there's been disagreement between the U.S. and Keir Starmer on support for Iran. Did your visit with the king smooth that over or create any more?
My visit with the king really was it was extraordinary. I mean, he's an extraordinary man. He's an extraordinary person. And yeah, it helps from the standpoint that, when you like the king of a country so much, it probably helps your relationship with the prime minister. But, in that case, the prime minister, I said, do you want to send a little help? He said, no, we'll send it after you win the war. I said, that's not good. That's not good. What do you think of that, Jared? Sending help after we win the war? I don't know. Something that bothers me. I don't want to get you guys involved, but I can imagine what you're thinking.
The United Arab Emirates, the UAE, they pulled out of OPEC.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think it's great. Look, I know him very well, Mohammed, and very smart. And he probably maybe wants to go his own way. That's a good thing. I think ultimately it's a good thing for getting the price of gas down, getting oil down, getting everything down. They have it all. He's a great leader, actually. So, no, I'm okay. They're having some problems in OPEC.
Mr. President, Kevin Warsh passed a hurdle today. The Senate Banking Committee confirmed his nomination to go to the Senate floor.
We need
He'll be on the
somebody.
Fed in mid-May. Is it your expectation that he can persuade the other Fed governors to lower interest rates?
Well, we'll
because
see.
they haven't done
They
so
should
recently.
because it's a good time to lower them. We're the most prime country anywhere in the world. We're right now having investments made in our country at a level that nobody's ever seen. No other country's ever seen it. Tens of billions of dollars are being invested. Factories, auto plants, AI. I mean, not just AI, because AI is, we're leading China by a lot in AI, as you know. I'm letting them build their own electric plants. They're building them, otherwise you could never do it. It was a concept that I came up with. I'm very proud of it.
All right, let me go ahead and hop in here. Several things that he brought up there. I like the 86 being the mop term. That's good stuff. He's talking about the Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell just came out and announced that interest rates are going to remain. They're not lowering interest rates. Is anybody shocked by that? I'm not. Jerome Powell's time at the Fed ends on May 15th, and then they're going to be bringing in Kevin Warsh, which, as they were stating there, is hopefully a move in the right direction, and interest rates can be lowered. But Jerome Powell, just a real scummy dude. Scummy guy. TCW Construction, TCWConstructionCo.com. These are your outdoor projects. Go to the website, tcwconstructionco.com. Look at everything they got on there, all the different options for your outdoor projects, walkways, retaining walls, outdoors, entertainment, anything you want. They put together beautiful stuff. 205-389-3536 is the number, tcwconstructionco.com. Tell my buddy Trent that I sent you. The Line Talk 99.5. Mandu bringing you this part of the show. Mandu.com, MANDUU.com. I will be at the Mandu today getting my workout clothes and going to be getting after it, man. I got a crazy workout on Monday. So who knows what happens today, but I'm going to get in there. And I'm gonna get after it. We were doing our FaceTime Bible study last night, and I was flexing on camera. I went over and got on Trisha's cam, and I started flexing behind her, and nobody said anything about it. But I know
They're just used to you being you.
But I know what they were thinking. They were thinking, "Yeah, man, that guy's jacked. Look at him." So you can be too, man. Summer's coming up, as you know, and most of y'all probably think, there's no way I don't have time to get in shape. I don't have time to get beach ready or lake ready, but you do, man. You got time. You got time to lose weight, build muscle, and all these different things. But even outside of that, if you just care about your overall general health, all those medications and stuff that your doctors got you on, you could literally be just a few months away from having all of that thrown in the garbage. I mean, this is not medical advice, obviously, but I'm just telling you what I experienced when I went to the doctor after a while of doing Mandu, and they told me my levels were okay, everything was good, and they're like, "What do you do? You exercise? What do you do?" I said, "I do Mandu." They're like, "Well, what's Mandu?" I was like, "It's this thing that's obviously got me on track, man, and got me feeling better than ever." And it only takes me 15 minutes to do. I'm in and out of there. I got my own personal trainer. And it's just amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. If you have not booked your free session, I want you to do it. I really, really, really encourage y'all to do that, man. If you haven't done it, it doesn't cost you anything. There's no obligation. Like, you're not going to be forced to do anything. There's no tricks. We're not bamboozling you into, signing up for something you don't want to sign up for. You're just getting a free session in. So if you have not done this, I want you to try it. Just figure out a day after work one day that you can go and try it out. I mean, your free session will probably take you 30 minutes, maybe 30, 40 minutes, because they'll have to go through the process of explaining it to you and how it all works and everything else. But these guys are so great. They're going to take care of you. They're going to make you feel good. They're going to be very welcoming. You feel at home when you get there. And then if you do sign up, you're probably going to be working out with me one day. I see listeners up there all the time. So get with it, man. Your health is important. Do it for yourself, but do it for your wife, your husband, or your kids. Do it for your family. They need you to be around, and this is the way to do it. Most of us don't have time to go to the gym for 3 or 4 hours at a time. We got busy lives. Mandu subverts that busy life and fits you in. 15-minute workout, baby. Homewood, Huntsville, and Tuscaloosa. 3 different locations, and you can use whichever one you want if you sign up. We get your free session. All of them got a free session for you. Go to the website, MANDUU.com. MANDUU.com. Claim your free session or call them and let them know Andrew Mclain sent you. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the wheel of segment.
I'm just a kid.
Apparently, sometimes I don't watch the news because I'm a kid, and apparently Grandpa just gives me the remote after we watch the Powerball.
And here it goes. I'm just a kid, and life is a nightmare. I'm just a kid. I know that it's not fair. Nobody cares, 'cause I'm alone, and the world is having more fun than me tonight.
I'm just a kid on today's Wheel of Segments. Yes,
It's been a while since we've had this one on. Have we had this one on since I've been back?
I don't think so. We've done it recently, but I think it predates you.
Mm-hmm.
Predates your return, should I say. So I'm just a kid. And up first from Fox 13 Tampa Bay. Wow, this is the first one?
Oh, no. Oh, maybe you should move it to the second one.
I'm just going to go with it. Pig semen eye drops
Okay.
may treat rare childhood eye cancer, according to a new study.
Okay, yeah, you should have probably moved that one to the second one here. I mean, this has gotten off to just a really, really bad start, you know.
It is a bad start. I saw this first two words.
I
in the
noticed when
headline.
you winced and kind of said, "Oh," I knew it was bad.
Well, and the first two words of the headline are pig semen. I'm like, that's not a good start.
Yeah, let's not say that again.
Researchers have created experimental eye drops that
There we go.
use a molecule derived from pig semen that could treat a rare form of cancer, according to a recent study.
Well, that's good.
The eye drops were used in mice to target retinoblastoma,
Retinitis blastoma.
retinoblastoma,
Retinoblastoma.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
A type of eye cancer commonly found in children. Researchers used a sperm cell's ability to penetrate barriers and deliver treatment to the back of the eye without damaging the surrounding tissue, which, you know,
It's a good thing.
Yeah, we're talking scientifically.
Yeah, scientifically.
That stuff, and I mean, with this substance, it involves, as we talked about yesterday on the Willis segments, Olympic-style swimmers.
Yeah.
That could, in fact, if you made it into an eye drop, would make its way to the back of the eye. That could then, you know, whatever medical benefit it has, could do its job, right?
Yeah, I just wonder, where do they come up with this crap from? What was the first idea about this?
According to the study co-author Yu Zhang, who is a pharmaceutical, it's a doctor. He says, given that the majority of affected patients are young children, eye preserving and toxicity minimizing therapies are critically important for their lifelong well-being. The tumor sizes in the mice that received the experimental treatment were reduced in size. After 30 days, the tumors were about 2 to 3% the size of those in untreated mice.
Wow.
Researchers believe that the use of sperm-delivered treatment in the eye could also treat other forms of eye disease, such as macular degeneration.
Wow.
It says, what is retinoblastoma? It is a kind of eye cancer that starts growing in the retina. According to the Mayo Clinic, it is often diagnosed in young children and accounts for about 3% of childhood cancers. About 2 out of 3 retinoblastoma tumors are diagnosed in children younger than 2 years old, but the prognosis for many cases are positive. Overall, more than 9 out of 10 retinoblastoma cases in children in the United States are cured.
Without oink oink?
Maybe with the oink oink, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was for the good of humanity, so, okay.
Let's hope that was the worst one.
Yeah, please.
Next up, Texas school sent waiver for parents to allow kids to be coached by a sex offender.
Oh, my God. No.
That's right.
No, I can't. It's getting, no. It's been a great show. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
It's just the news, man. The Texas Home Educators Sports Association thought it could get away with allowing a registered sex offender to coach minors by sending parents a waiver to sign with the coach's testimony attached. According to this article, the report comes a day after Smith uncovered that Tommy Whiteman, a 46-year-old former Houston Astros prospect, was the head coach for the organization's THESA Riders based out of Fort Worth, and had previously worked with the Haskell High School softball team located almost an hour north of Abilene, while also operating an indoor baseball and softball facility in Cowler called Redemptive Sports. He is currently listed on the Texas Sex Offender Registry until 2030 for online solicitation of a minor back in 2010, meaning communicating or distributing sexually explicit material. He also has a previous domestic violence and assault convictions in Oklahoma from incidents in 99 and 2000. Whiteman was listed as the head baseball coach as of late Sunday and is no longer listed on Max Preps. The team's website also doesn't list his name, instead listing Brian Cruz as the head coach. But to the waiver that they sent home.
Yes.
The waiver was part of Thessa's, it's the THESA, so Thessa's registration packet, and reads, quote, Coach Tommy can speak firsthand about the dark shadows of sports, especially professionally. He himself, a talented athlete, spent many years praising himself and feeding his flesh. The Lord so graciously refused to let the world have him and rescued him from his sin in a tremendously dramatic yet necessary way. Tommy now spends his time pouring into young men around him, helping them navigate this tricky culture with Christ. His heart is not only to not only share his vast knowledge of baseball skills, but more importantly, the freedom he found in his Redeemer. Before you commit to Coach Tommy's leadership, check out his testimony here. And so they give his testimony. It says the waiver mentioned nothing about his sex offender status. Smith posted that a Thessa baseball parent told her that Whiteman only spoke of his troubles with pornography. He further elaborates on his arrest in the About Me section of Redemptive Sports website, which also has its own waiver. Quote, eventually I found myself in chat rooms late into the night while my wife and innocent infant daughter slept. I was engaging in inappropriate conversations that led to adultery. One of these online conversations ended up being with a minor, but it was never a minor. It was a police officer. The sting went down exactly like you would imagine on TV. It was no question the worst day and the best day of my life. Great testimony, I guess. But coaching kids, nah.
Yeah, I mean, of course the Lord can forgive and redeem.
Right.
But you're still in the world.
Yeah.
And that's why there are people in prison that have given their lives to Christ that are there for the rest of their natural lives.
You're still also on the registry.
Yeah.
And in your situation, part of your punishment would be that you don't get to work around kids. I mean, you just don't get to be a baseball coach. There's other options out there for you.
You know what? I had such high hopes for this segment.
Jeez,
please turn
man.
it around, Andrew. I really need this story to go.
The third
well.
story is never the best one. It's always the worst one. Last but not least, half-nude Boston man.
Oh.
Accused of forcing child to eat Gushers candy in a restaurant bathroom.
Come on, man. Come on. This may be the toughest one since I've been back.
A 34-year-old partially undressed Boston man has been accused of forcing a child to eat Gushers candy in a restaurant bathroom last month, following the child to his friends to a nearby playground. The incident, which resulted in a kidnapping charge, unfolded at the 99 restaurant on Austin Street in Charlestown on March 21st. 13-year-old boy was at the restaurant that Saturday afternoon with a group of friends when he went into the bathroom and encountered 34-year-old man he did not know. The man was standing in the bathroom shirtless and holding an unopened box of Gushers candy. Gushers is a gummy snack with fruit-flavored liquid inside. The man told the child to eat a gummy from the box. The child tried several times to go around the man who was standing in front of the door and asked to leave. The man, however, maintained his position, inhibiting the victim from leaving and continued to demand the victim eat the candy. After being asked multiple times, the child said he felt intimidated and was afraid of the large shirtless male. He eventually accepted the piece of candy and ate it in front of the man, who allowed him to leave the bathroom. The boy returned to his friend's group, and the group left the restaurant. They headed to Edwards Playground on Eden Street, about a 10-minute walk away. The man followed the children out of the restaurant and on their way to the playground, asking them to pass their basketball to him. He then followed them onto the playground. Boston police were called to the playground just before 2 p.m. by the father of one of the children. Father told the officers the man had already left the area, but shared what the children said had happened. While one officer interviewed the 13-year-old and called for an ambulance, 2 other officers searched the area for the man. The child was taken to the hospital for evaluation, and his drug screen came back negative. Thank goodness. Police located the man, where he immediately told officers, quote, they was bothering me at the bar. I didn't touch nobody or nothing, end quote. He also said that he had no drugs or weapons, that he, quote, didn't do anything bad. Officers handcuffed the man due to his erratic behavior and the nature of the call. As the investigation continued, he was placed under a Section 12 psychiatric hold for unknown psychosis, impaired judgment, leading to impulsive behavior, and fluctuating mood. The man later identified as an unhoused individual living in Boston with multiple arrests, including an assault charge on March 12th in New York City. Police communicated with the New York City police, who described the man as known to them as an emotionally disturbed person.
Good grief.
Thank goodness that it was just really just a gusher and not some sort of laced candy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not a good Willis. Hey, okay, I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid tonight.
I didn't realize that all those stories were in there. Honestly, I didn't know. Chuck Davis bringing you this part of the show. Have you got an unhoused man following you around and you need an attorney to get rid of him? Chuck Davis, he's an attorney, all right. He handles a lot of things, and he can help you out, man. Divorce, custody, wills, probate contracts, personal injury, wrongful death, slip and fall, car wrecks. You know the drill. If you got a need for an attorney, it really doesn't matter what it is. If you'll call Chuck, he'll either get you on the right track or he'll get you the best result that you can humanly get, depending on what your case is. So reach out to him. Make sure you let him know I sent you. 205-823-9992. That's 205-823-9992. Online, chuckdavislaw.com. No representation is made that the legal services provided are superior to the legal services provided by other lawyers. Yeah, that was did you look at the text line to see?
No, I've cut that off.
Okay. I just wonder what people's reactions were. We got people saying that they're a retinoblastoma survivor.
Ah.
But followed it with a WTF, which I think means they didn't get the pig seed.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off. I don't even want to know what people said. Cut the phones off too. We don't need anything else. I think that's that's enough for today. That's enough. That's enough, everybody.
Oh my, yeah, I'm gonna turn it off.
Noto Roofing, by the way, NOTO roofing.com. One more time for you. One more again. Noto Roofing loves you and your roof. That's why they want to take care of it, man. You may, with these storms that have been coming through, you may be dealing with, stuff falling on it, limbs and crap, like what's happening at my house, and that can cause problems. And maybe not a big problem at first, but ultimately turns into a big problem. So just get that free roof inspection, complimentary roof tune-up via Noto Roofing. They're the best of the best. As you know, they've done the work at my house, so I'm able to testify to how good Noto is. Here's their number. Make sure you tell them you're with me, and they're going to take care of you. 205-848-2299. That's 848-2299. And online, notoroofing.com. NOTO roofing.com. I'm out of here. Thank you, John Bird. Leland Live up next. Back tomorrow with a brand new episode. Until next time, see ya,